is streaming.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
What book are we doing? Let me bring up the notes.
I got well, hold on. We're gonna have to do the Bendis Theater another day because that's a 3 people thing. Maybe we'll have a chance next week to do it with Iron Man.
Right.
Because it's not going to work if one of us has to do 2 voices. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's 3 people in that part, at least always talking. All right, so you and me. I just edit this because I kind of read what is written, and if I don't edit it out, I'll start with Carl. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, I gotta move this midpoint marvelous facts to. We'll do Defender second, and we'll end with Old Man Logan because that was my favorite of the week.
Sweet. Yeah, mine too.
All right, here we go. All right, how we doing, guys? This is Brandon. I am joined, of course, by Trevitt, with Carl on a early bedtime tonight. And this is the Marvel. Did you drop something there?
Yeah, I dropped my mic.
All right, I'll try again here. To take 2. All right, how we doing, everybody? This is the Marvel Madness Comics Podcast, episode number 7. I'm, of course, Brandon, joined as always with. God damn it! Joined by. Okay, here we go. Take 3. All right, how we doing, everybody? And welcome to the Marvel Madness Comics Podcast. This is episode number 7. I am Brandon, and I'm joined by co-host Trevitt. What are you doing, Trevitt?
Not much, just chilling.
All right, finally nailed that on our 3rd take there. We got Carl MIA this week. He had to get to bed early, to wake up early for work, so it's just going to be me and Trevitt bringing you some books this week. And the way we always do it, we're going to get to covering that right here, right now. But before we do get to that, you do anything fun today? Fun this weekend? Just dealing with a lot of family and people, or what?
Yeah, nothing real fun. A lot of family stuff. It was okay. It was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up going out with some buddies yesterday. We went out and rented a school bus and went out on the town.
A school bus?
Yeah. Just so we didn't have to drive or anything. We don't got Uber here until the end of the month, so sometimes we like do that because it's not too expensive.
Oh shit, no Uber?
No, not till the 29th. I think finally we get it. So it's you can get it in New York City, but they don't let us peons outside New York City have Uber in New York yet. So that's coming. Until then, we rented a school bus. We got really drunk and went out and about. And I finally, at 11:30 at night the following day, my headache is gone and I'm ready to go. So that's the shits of getting old, I guess. But anyway, we're going to get into this. Our mission statement here, guys, is we highlight 3 to 4 books for you each week. We hope to provide you a little bit of a glimpse into the Marvel comic book universe. We mix up the action by giving you some news, some titles, about the titles, some fun facts, and just general things that go on in Earth Prime, 616, whatever you feel like calling it. We divided our books up into 3 different categories that we're all responsible for one of each. My side of things is the Spider family. Carl takes care of the Hero family, and Trevitt, you're the X-Men and Human family.
Yes.
So we're going to bring you 1 book from each of those families here tonight, while also giving some brief thoughts on Secret Empire number, what are we on, 4 in that series?
Yes, number 4.
Yeah, I start losing track when they hit past 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, the newest issue. So anyway, if you guys are looking to get a hold of us, Carl is MIA this week, so we do not have access to the email. So I don't know if we got any emails. I forgot to ask him before he went to bed there. But if you are looking to get a hold of us, send us some questions, ask us whatever you feel like asking us. You can do that at marvelmadnesspod@gmail.com. You can get a hold of us anytime you want on Twitter @MadnessMarvel1. And we like to retweet your new comic book day polls. Sometimes we throw some digital codes out there. I'll actually, if you're listening to this on Monday or Tuesday, I'll start posting some this week randomly. I got some to give away. And then you can also find the podcast on Podbean. That's where it's hosted. But you can also find us on iTunes, Player FM. What's the one you use?
Pocket Casts.
Pocket Casts. So we're on a whole bunch of podcast catchers out there. So whatever you use, we should be on it. But please rate and review us and spread the word so we get a little more popular, get some more hits. But anybody who does leave a review, let us know and DM us or email us, and then we compensate you with some free digital codes for the trouble. But now all that basic bitch stuff is covered and out of the way. We're going to get to Trevitt's news and notes here for the week. Trevitt's going to take over from here. I'm going to put my clap in so I know where to edit it. It's our song.
All right.
And there you go.
All right, I got 4 stories this week. I wouldn't say it was a big week for news. I wouldn't say it was a slow week for news. It's kind of like a mid-level.
Yeah, and I found some things too when I did my classic Marvel Comics search on Google News.
Yeah, same here.
And then usually I check Bleeding Cool to double check, but sometimes that's all rumors and gossip. So I don't know what to believe off that site sometimes.
They talk a lot of shit too. They just have articles where they just like to talk shit, especially Nick Spencer. They focus a lot of hate / love for Nick Spencer.
If they didn't have his Twitter account, there would be probably 6 less articles a day on that website.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, most definitely. But tonight, starting off, I got Jim Galton. So who have never, I didn't know. You don't know these people's names for the most part, But he was a former president.
I think that's probably because we were like really young. Like, so he stopped working in 1990. I was 8. I didn't give a fuck about who was making decisions for companies.
No, I didn't. And I didn't
even know.
I didn't start reading comics till 91, and I was too young to care who Jim Galton was. Like I don't even know if I fully understood the stories I was reading to the capacity that I would now,
Right. No. Yeah, I didn't at all. I read just randomly. I reread my first comic book ever this week and did a review on Jim's website, WeirdScienceDCComics.com. And I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would, first of all. But I can tell you with 100% confidence that what I understood out of it at 35 years old was totally different than what I was getting out of it at 8 to 9 years old when it was given to me. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that was the giant size, the 350th issue of Amazing Spider-Man, right?
Yeah. It was a fun read versus Dr. Doom, kind of, or they weren't really versus each other, but loose allies in that issue, I guess you could say. After getting the living doors beat off him in the beginning. So it was a fun read.
I threw it on the tablet. I'm going to check it out. It looks really dope, though.
Cool.
I flipped through it. It looks a lot like a lot of fun.
I really thought in my brain also, being young and stupid when I got it, it was like a McFarlane, because it looked like it on the cover and on the inside.
That's it.
Well, so that's what I always thought in my head until I paid attention to the credits. Again, 30 years after I initially got the fucking comic the first time.
Yeah. But he had a similar style. I think Eric Larson kind of had a similar style for drawing Spider-Man himself as like Todd McFarlane. I think they all tried to conform to each other back then too, so it felt like it flowed well.
Yeah. But Jim Galton. Sorry,
Jim Galton from that era that we're talking about is the president of Marvel Comics. He passed away on June 12th at the age of 92. He was in charge of Marvel from 1975 to 1990, so about 15 years there. It's been said that he's responsible for bringing Marvel back from the from the brink of non-existence. Like, they were in trouble at the time. And it's also noted that he was responsible for originally securing the rights for Star Wars comics. So, he was the guy who was responsible for the original Star Wars comics.
Yeah, that was a good idea, huh?
Yeah. And their first foray into the film industry, like like the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie,
Yeah. The one nobody ever talks about.
Or that bad Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie. Was it Roger? I think it was Roger Corman. I'm not sure. Was it Roger Corman? No, it was
Yeah, no, you're right. It was Corman.
It was Corman?
Yeah.
I was thinking, all right, because I was thinking it was somebody else for a second.
Yeah,
someone
I
around
just heard another podcast talking about that shit show earlier this week. So.
Oh my god! It was so bad. I've watched it on YouTube, and it's really bad. At least Dr. Doom kind of looks cool. I mean, it's a cheesy outfit, but he looks like he's supposed to in the comics,
Yeah.
But so next up, I got Marvel 1 million BC, which is it's from the solicitation for the Marvel Legacy. It's been reported this week that the solicitations for September will be for the upcoming Marvel Legacy one-shot from Jason Aaron and Esad Ribic, that it's going to show its first Avengers from the year 1 million BC, and the lineup will consist of Odin, Iron Fist, Starbrand, Ghost Rider, Phoenix, Agamotto, and Black Panther, and it's going to be a 50-page one-shot. And I think it's going to be it's something similar to what we got from like DC Universe Rebirth, and it's going to kick off the legacy numbering and possibly set up a larger story, kind of like DC Universe Rebirth did for like the Marvel Universe, that's supposed to last for the next 18 months, because they're supposedly not doing events for the next 18 months.
Yeah, and Secret Empire wasn't quote unquote going to be extended either, but we'll see.
Yeah. Oh my God, we'll get to that. That's just ridiculous. But next up, I got Black Panther: World of Wakanda is canceled. Another Black Panther title canceled after fucking Black Panther and the Crew. So it came out this week that Roxane Gay and Tanishi Coates, their Black Panther: World of Wakanda book was canceled at issue 6 that already came out. But it's it's the second Panther title to get canceled. And the reason was low sales, which, is a good reason. It debuted at like 57,000 copies, which is, pretty good sales. But then by the 6th issue, it dropped to 14.5, which is really, really pathetic. So, that's gone. And it just, it's stories in Wakanda, just following people from Wakanda. One issue was kind of cool. The art was done by Joe Bennett, I think, who does Deathstroke over at DC. And it was about this guy who I'm sure is from like a previous run in Black Panther, because I haven't seen him in the current run, but he wears like a White Panther suit, but he's a New York detective, and he went on it was like a one-shot like side mission. It was pretty dope though. I enjoyed it a lot. But next I got Secret Empire Omega was announced this week. Jesus Christ, save us all. After it was already reported not too long ago that Marvel added a 10th issue, bringing us to a total of 12. It's like the fucking Energizer Bunny. Like, it just keeps going and going.
Keeps going. They've tended to do this like Omega thing after all their events lately, even like the Spider-Man one.
Spider-Man. And then they have the Oath for Civil War, which was basically like an Omega.
Yep, you're right. I forgot about that one too. Oof. And so now this one, but I don't know. This story's not moving fast enough to keep adding issues onto it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it's not.
Get it moving somewhere. Nobody's clamoring for more right now. At least I'm not. I don't know. Maybe we're all wrong, but
number 10 is supposed to lead into like Generations kind of, and I'm assuming this Omega is going to lead into like Legacy, as like Civil War, the Oath kind of led into Secret Empire. But even still, like, who the fuck needs it? Like, like it's just to fatten up like the hardcover or the paperback and charge extra money for it. Yeah. They're going to be like 30-40 pages a piece, and they rushed art, and no artist has been announced for this Omega issue. Oh boy, that's it for the news. And it's like that story just kind of depresses me because, see, I feel like Secret Empire, it could have been monthly, 6 issues, 6 issues monthly, 41 pages an issue, same artist, same writer, and it probably would have been like the way it is now and how it's long and drawn out. I feel like it just would have been a way better story if it was 6 or 7 issues.
So. Yeah, you're getting like, I just feel like I've had too much of it already, and it's only been 4 issues, even though they've come out over a month. Like, I'm just every time another one comes out, I'm like, oh god damn it, another one already.
I mean, it's really stretched out. I appreciate what he did, like how he set all these different stories off, like United and like the companion books and stuff. That's a cool idea and everything, but the stories just feels like it's so stretched out. Like, ooh.
Yeah, I agree. So just I like to check news as well, like I mentioned, and the only other thing I found was, like we said, a rumor, and that was from Bleeding Cool. So I'll credit the source. It's not anything I'm making up, but it says don't expect Fantastic Four in Marvel Legacy, I'm afraid. So I don't understand what that's all about.
Okay.
And again, it's just a rumor, but I don't know if you're interested in that. You can find that on Bleeding Cool. We're not going to really get into it, but it doesn't make a lot of sense if that's something that's going to happen. I don't understand the big.
A lot of people were speculating. They were like, "Oh, maybe they're going to finally bring back the Fantastic Four when Legacy comes around." Like, it's just speculation.
Yeah. So we'll wait and see. I would like to see him back personally, even though I'm not even a huge Fantastic Four fan, but I just like them when they pop up in books. It's like a cool character to feature or to cameo, and when it's just Ben Grimm or goddamn, what's his name? Johnny Storm.
Yeah. They've had a lot of good runs.
What's his superhero name? Well, it's
who? Johnny Storm?
Yeah.
It's just Johnny Storm. He just the Human Torch.
Human Torch. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, he's an Uncanny Avengers.
Brain fart right there. But I don't like them when they're by themselves. I like them when they're as a team. It's just So
there've been a lot of good runs on Fantastic Four, like Hickman, friggin' Mark Millar, just Mark Waid, a lot of good John Byrne, a lot of good runs.
Yeah. So that's it for news and rumors and things we found online, comic related this week. And we're going to take it off and send it to the books. All right. Hang on 1 second here. I want to switch my headphones real quick.
I'm so happy with the art. Oh, God. Such a nice change of pace.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, good.
I did like the art much better in this week's Secret Empire. Like, it was just like a nice change of pace.
I read it this week. I did like it better than Sorrentino, but
yeah.
All right, we're back with the books here, guys. We're going to kick things off with me this week, and we're going to start it off with Scarlet Spider. I was kind of up in the air about whether to go with this one or Renew Your Vows, and ended up leaning towards this one just because I grabbed it first, and I still even haven't been able to read Renew Your Vows yet, to be honest with you, after getting a bunch of reviews done and doing a bunch of stuff for the podcast and stuff I do every week. So I don't know if I've made the right decision or not, but this is the one we're talking about, and that's why. So
I don't know. It's a tough guy. I read Renew Your Vows. I liked it. I liked it a lot, but I liked this too. So they were both good.
I'm excited to read it. I just haven't got to it yet. So things like jumped up in the reading order based on, what had to get reviewed, because I just had a busy ass weekend this weekend. That's all. So we'll kick things off with Scarlet Spider 3, which I can't say I'm disappointed about. And again, you know how we do things here, guys. When we review the books, we tell you to buy, to borrow, or to forget them altogether instead of grading them on, some fancy smancy 1 to 10 scale or anything like that. Should you buy it? Should you spend your money on it? Should you borrow it? Maybe get the digital code from a friend, or should you not even waste your time with it? That's basically our scale and how we discuss things. So with that in mind, Scarlet Spider 3. That's written by Peter David. We got art by Mark Bagley as main penciler. Inker is John Dell. And then the 2 colorists are Jason Keith, J. David Ramos, and then VC's Joe Carmanga on the letters. And I just finished my review for this one, and I always say this is kind of like a complicated book to try to, I don't know, tell somebody new to comics to grab and get into, because they'd really be kind of lost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because the heavy follows Clone Conspiracy.
Yeah, it's really like heavy with Clone Conspiracy, and a lot of people solely only like this character based on, you know, nostalgia and things from the 90s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if neither of those two factors are really working in your favor, you might have a hard time really grabbing onto this book. But if they are working in your favor, I think it's something that group of people kind of are really enjoying right now. And I'm one of those people. So things kick off this issue with Rita, who is the doctor that worked with Ben during Clone Conspiracy, giving Ben a heads up phone call stating that, you know, Kane tricked her into revealing some information about Ben, and that he is on his way to her office to retrieve it. You know, get some proof. So Ben is on his phone. He's still at this casino dealing with this Cassandra chick, and trying to understand. He basically, we find out, is responsible for the cliffhanger at the end of issue 2, where Kane is under fire from those gunmen. And we find out that Ben Reilly basically hired him to keep this information he's going after safe, right? Yeah, just make sure, because it got a little twisted there. I just wanted to make sure I understood everything right. Sometimes my brain believes what it wants to for sake of a story, you know? Anyway, we see Kane ends up getting out of the building, saves his ass. He's not dead, but I don't think he gets the information he was looking for, right?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, okay. So, and then you also just see kind of this ops team that's going after him, kind of keep an eye on him. And they all got, you know, just fancy army names like Whiskey, Tango, Foxtrot, shit like that, you know? But that's really the last we see of them this issue. We go back to Ben, who's still discussing with Cassandra, you know, checking off the list of things he needs to continue working on a cure for her daughter. And she ends up trying to, you know, make sure he's staying honest and doing what she wants him to do. Secretly gets her bodyguard to inject this thing into his neck, which is basically a Suicide Squad brain bomb, or at least that's what she makes him believe it is.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, because it's a tracker. It's really just a tracker, you find
tracker,
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she tells him it's a brain bomb to keep him kind of in line, you know, because it's been a wild conversation for a couple issues going on between these two. So he walks out of the office, and then we finally, you know, get a little bit of Scarlet Spider action after an issue and a half of not really having any, because he didn't don the suit last issue, right?
No, I don't think he did. He's just been in the hoodie with the weird glasses.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Macho Man Randy Savage sunglasses.
They totally are. They're 80s wrestler sunglasses. So anyway, he's hanging out in the streets of Vegas in his new Scarlet Spider suit, and he comes across the lady he rescued in issue 1. Yeah, he basically asked her for the $50 she still owes him, because he charged her for being saved in issue 1 when he was really down on his luck. Still kind of being down on his luck. He's trying to get the other 50 she didn't have, when they're suddenly interrupted by this. You initially think they're like, you know, robbers, all dressed up as different versions of Spider-Man. You got Scarlet Spider 90s version, 2099 Spider-Man 90s version, and old school Spider-Man. So they're running towards who else's casino but Cassandra's, right? This thing just keeps getting like robbed and having scenes caused in it constantly. So she's upstairs keeping an eye on her daughter, who's passed back out. I didn't notice that. Did you?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so that's a new development. And she sends her bodyguard to go check on the latest disturbance going on, because she's like, God damn it, again, 2 and 24 hours, you know? So he goes downstairs and confronts these 3 Spider-Men who are basically just in the middle of the casino screaming to talk to Cassandra, right?
It's hilarious. This part was so fucking funny.
Yeah, and he's trying to do it through his mask, and he's like, I can't even say it. Like I wanted to say it in the microphone. It's like
we're
looking for Cassandra Mercury.
Yeah, that's exactly how it's written right there, too.
So he gets yoked up while he takes his mask up and starts saying the same thing.
I love when he's like, "What's the matter with foo?" Like,
yeah, his mask keeps getting stuck in his. He's like a little kid with one of those masks that just had the eye holes and no mouth cut out of it. So when he lifts his mask up to make the demand again, try to get in contact with Cassandra, he gets choked up by this bodyguard, and I can't for the life of me remember this bodyguard's name. Do you remember it?
No, Slate. I think his name is Slate.
Is it Slate? Okay. So he yokes up this first Spider-Man, and he's trying to, basically get these guys out of here, and they're talking tough at first. And to shut these dudes up, he just with one hand snaps the dude dressed as regular Spider-Man's neck. Just takes care of him.
That was crazy. That was really
yeah, and then he just grabs the dude dressed as Spider-Man 2099 by the throat. Is about to do the same thing to him. When Scarlet Spider comes strolling in and kicks him right in the face. Well, he doesn't kick him in the face. He shoots some web at his face.
silly
Distract him at first, and it starts a fight between the two of them. As Spider-Man tells those guys to get the fuck out of town. You know what I'm saying? So these two are going back and forth. This is like the second or third time they've fought each other. First time though, Ben was just Ben. He wasn't dressed as Scarlet Spider, and this guy doesn't know Scarlet Spider is Ben. So Ben ends up getting the upper hand on him, and he ends up giving chase to the robbery Spider-Man. I don't even know if you would really call them robbers. Did you get what they wanted? Did I miss something?
They're basically like Spider-Man wannabes, and they just want to. She's like a criminal, so they want to stop her.
Right. That's right. She's kind of up to some corrupt shit, and they're trying to put an end to it. They're basically like low rent heroes with no powers that dress as Spider-Man.
No powers. They're just like Spider-Man wannabes that have no powers at all.
And that's what Ben starts saying to them when he confronts them. He's like, listen, you guys are goddamn idiots. You can't be doing this when you have no powers. You're gonna get yourselves fucking killed. And then they kind of just have a jokey conversation where they're talking about if you're the real Scarlet Spider, what's the deal with your new costume? It's a real like breaking the fourth wall type conversation here. Because he's like, you can see your mouth. He's like, it's a Spider Side ripoff.
Yeah, he's using all the real complaints.
Yeah, the shit people were saying on message boards and Twitter and shit when the reveal happened. And so Ben's like, oh, all right, you hate my costume? You think it's a piece of shit? He's like, give me yours. And he's talking to the guy that has the classic Scarlet Spider costume on. So now this is the second cosplayer he's robbed for a costume in 3 issues. True. And then this one puts him back in his old duds. So that's the end of the issue. And you get a preview of next issue, and it looks like him and Kane might finally meet up. So that means the story's making some progress here, and I'm excited for that. But as far as this issue goes, I didn't feel like a whole lot happened. And I felt like that last issue too, just because we finally halfway through this issue got Ben out of Cassandra's office. You know what I'm saying? Which finally got the story moving a little bit. But then he goes right back into the casino to stop this robbery. And then it ends up leading to that very fan servicey conclusion. So that's essentially your story and what you're getting here. While it doesn't move it forward a whole bunch, like the way it's told and the jokes and things like that, really make me enjoy it more than I should overall, you know, as an overall book and an issue. And with all that being said, I love the art. I mean, the art is phenomenal and it's
Me
awesome.
too.
Bagley and his team of colorists and inkers are, especially since the first issue, like it's gotten better each issue as the series has gone on, and this one was the best one so far, if you ask me. So I had a hard time with issue 1 when we did issue 1. I'm like, I don't know, should we buy it? Should we borrow it? I will continue buying this book just because of, like I said in the beginning, my relationship with the character. Like he's just a nostalgia character to me. If like they came out with another He-Man series, no matter how good or bad it was, I would buy it. And this is kind of like what that is. But this is like overall as a story and stuff, just a borrow issue for me. Just because nothing really happens, but I still had fun reading it. So it's kind of like a 7.5-ish type thing like that. Like I really enjoyed it, but I wouldn't say just to a random person to buy it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
How about you?
I agree with that. Yeah, I really like the art. It really does get better with every single issue. Bagley's bringing his A game. It's kind of weird because I had a thought, but I totally just slipped my mind. I'm like trying to grab. It was a little like a couple minutes ago. I had a thought about, and it just totally fucking slipped my mind. But no, I really like the art. It's a pretty good book. It is a 7.5 story. It's, you know, it's hard to go just tell the average person like, oh, you really need to check out that Scarlet Spider. I can't imagine myself saying that, even though I really do like the book. So it's hard. I have a hard time in between borrow and buy.
I know. It really that's where I am every time we review this one too. I'm like, I want to tell everyone to go buy it and go read it, but like just somebody like we talked to on Twitter a lot, like somebody like G-Man, who I know read the first issue and was like, I don't understand this at all. And I think that would be a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and if you didn't read Clone Conspiracy, you're gonna feel like there's a big history missing while you're reading it. You know?
Yeah. I think once they get past the first 6 issues, that will go away. And if it gets a life longer than 12, I think, you know, it might be something you can jump into later down the line.
Once it gets deeper into its own story.
Yeah, but right now it's still like tying up loose ends from all that stuff that went on at the beginning of the year. And that hinders it just a little bit to grab new people on the book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what'd you say? Borrow overall or buy?
Yeah, overall it's a borrow.
Yeah.
It's getting to a full on buy though. It's heading in that direction. I mean,
for me as an individual person, it's definitely a buy just because it's a book on my pull list. But I like telling people, if anybody for whatever reason listens to us about what they buy and what they borrow, you know, before they actually go to the comic store, I would say you need to borrow this one unless you have that relationship with the character itself, you know?
Yeah, I do buy it, and I do want it to stick around, but I was excited for the idea of this book to begin with because, you know, after what he did in Clone Conspiracy, I was excited to see where, you know, he goes from there. And it has like a lot of really funny moments, like when those 3 guys ran into the casino and the dude with the mask, and he's like, dude, we've been over this.
In the book is top notch. It really is.
Yeah. And when he snapped that dude's neck, when that guy Slate snapped the Spider-Man guys, that was fucking crazy.
Yeah. There's moments that shock you, and there's like a little bit of everything in the book.
It really is.
And it's stuff I enjoy just because I've been so invested in Spider-Man for so long. But again, unless you're like me and would be the Spider-Man reviewer on a podcast or on a website, I would probably tell you to borrow it and see if you like it before you fully invest.
I liked the woman with the quarters too, where she was like, "Hey, I was just looking."
Yeah, she showed up again, Aunt June.
Yeah, Aunt June.
Yeah, that dude comes down to start another fight, kind of. Yeah, but he comes down to, you know, break up and start another fight, and she's begging him for more quarters again. Yeah, it's just like some long running jokes and things that are enjoyable if you've been reading it, and I could see overall, but why you would buy it, but yeah, like to new people just getting into books, you would want to borrow this first before you went forward with it as a series.
Yeah, definitely borrow. It's definitely a borrow and check it out. And if you like it, definitely hop on and buy it, because it's probably just going to continue on the path that it's on, and so definitely check it out.
Yeah. All right. So with that all covered, we're going to go on to Defenders #1. All right, so we'll cut in Defenders there. Oh shit, and then we got to put in Carl's thoughts here too. I forgot about that. For
Carl's thoughts for Defenders.
Scarlet Spider too.
Oh, Scarlet Spider. That's right.
Yeah. All right, so we're back here, guys. We just finished up with Defenders #1, and we, since Carl is missing in action, have totally forgot to tell you what he's thought about a couple books, because he did send his notes along. So we're going to get to that right now. You've heard what me and Trevitt tell you to do as far as Scarlet Spider and Defenders go, and this would be Carl's side of the fence here and where his stance is. So for Scarlet Spider first, he says there's just something about this book that he enjoys. The art is good, the story is interesting, and we finally get Ben back in his original costume. So he says bye, bye, bye. And you and me both said borrow, but we kind of had some, asterisks and stipulations to that. So it seems like us three are enjoying that book. You and me ended up saying borrow on Defenders overall. Carl is firmly in the camp of buy, and he says he loved the story's pacing. He said he loved the art, everything about it. And he goes, I know Bendis is hit or miss as a writer for me sometimes. He goes, but this one for me so far is a hit. So that's where Carl is on the two books we've covered so far. And with all that being taken care of, we're going to move on to the midpoint, Marvelous Facts. Get another one in. I'm going to stop it here and give you another invite.
All right, cool.
Okay. Just take a second.